it's me, Jack-a-Lopium. Welcome along. We're here looking at Romance 8 of the Three Kingdoms, the remake of Romance 8 of the Three Kingdoms. We're finally going to look at it and I'm going to give my thoughts. This is a semi-blind playthrough. I took a quick look at this on my Steam Deck, and it is the first thing I want to say. Oh no! It's going to play the you can watch this while I talk, do the intro. So the first thing to notice is that this game is optimized beautifully for the Steam Deck. So if you want to play a blasted Romance of the Three Kingdoms game on your Steam Deck, I'd say go for this one. This is I've not seen any talk of this in any of the discourse surrounding Romance of the Three Kingdoms 8 remake, but it's beautiful. It works really well on the old Steam Deck, and I'll probably be playing it on the Steam Deck. Let's click the mouse and dive in. I think we are just going to go through how good or not good the kind of the tutorials of Romance of the Three Kingdoms remake, how good they are or how not good they are. So we're going to be looking at the tutorials and how Romance of the Three Kingdoms remake welcomes new players new to the series, or consequently doesn't. Maybe it doesn't welcome the new player. I hope to give you enough information to make up your own mind, but that's the purpose, that's the mission statement of this series, is to look through and see if it's any good for players new to the series. I am of course new to this series. I've never played any of these games on the channel, and yeah, all the 200 hours I've played on 13, those don't exist. I really one thing you'll notice about the kind of discourse surrounding this game is every time someone reviews it, whether it's on Steam or on a YouTube video, they always give their credentials, oh yeah, I've played every one of these since Romance of the Three Kingdoms 3, I've played 4, 5, 6, and I'm instantly gonna say that this is worse because that gets me clicks. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's so basically they're all terrible, everything is terrible, my review is terrible. Yes, I have played these sodding games before. No, I'm not going to give my my fake credentials. So basically, we've clicked on the what is it they call it? The recommended. Let's go through Golden Path through the recommended. So we'll click on that. We've then got a bunch of options. We can choose to play at any of these levels. We could be the ruler. They've chosen Cao because of course he's the rightful ruler of the Three Kingdoms. I don't care what anyone says. Just because Guan Yu and Zhang Fei and that are really cool characters, yeah, they should have just sworn allegiance to Cao. They shouldn't have rebelled. The other two kingdoms are actually rebel forces. Yeah, controversial. It's just them. They were the main characters, or some of the main characters in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, the book. It is fictional. It's a fictional book. I also hear people say that Romance of the Three Kingdoms is a historical game, and it isn't. Romance of the Three Kingdoms is not a historical book. You can tell by the title, Romance. Romance means heroic fiction. there was a separate book called the Records of the Three Kingdoms, and that's the non-fiction book. But that didn't contain any stories about like heroic wars and like larger than life generals and things like that. So that's the difference between Romance of the Three Kingdoms and Records of the Three Kingdoms. I think, however, we are going to choose Viceroy just because I do like Guan Yu as a character. He's great. Yes, he is like the Three Kingdoms is kind of semi-historical, okay? Guan Yu, I mean, was sort of a real person, I guess, but he is kind of like an amalgamation of various different, like, real-life people. I'm not certain Guan Yu is historically, but, like, Liu Bei is historical, so some elements are, and Cao Cao is a real historical person, but he's different from the character. I say we click on the scenario settings. Basically, I've set these up already. I want the AI aggressiveness to be aggressive, and that has basically autoed everything. Low gold income, other forces have high gold income. I don't know if this is going to be any good. The reason it's custom, though, is because I've changed the AI executions. If you choose like a default starting difficulty, they're always, I mean, I think aggressive is on, right? Everybody can be executed. However, I've turned it off, all the way off. I don't want anyone to be executed. I don't want anyone to die. In fact, if it were possible, lifespan. Yeah. Historical based on history or the novel, see? History or the novel, see? I say we leave it as historical. Why the heck not? The reason why I don't want, like, punishment, I don't want those. I'm not going to keep saying it, just in case, you know, just because it's a word, you know? Yeah, the reason why I've turned that off is I want to set it up so that I don't know how unlocking characters work. There are, however, a bunch of, and we'll look at this as well, there are a bunch of like unlockables apparently, but here you go. Let's dive in as Guan Yu. You can watch and listen. I've set it up so that the dialogue should be in Chinese, right? The voiceover dialogue should be in Chinese. I think the options are just Chinese and Japanese. Zhuge Liang is there. I think we do want to meet up with Zhuge Liang. I don't know. I think he might be already. I think this is post the 3 visits. Yeah, there is a part in the novel where Guan Yu does actually join up with Cao Cao. Yeah, I can't for the life of me remember if that's after Liu Bei's. I have read the book, but a long time ago, and I do like the period, and I like the games Dynasty Warriors and Romance of the Three Kingdoms. I did play Total War, but it wasn't really my cup of tea. So yeah, those are my fake credentials. So yeah, like me, like they're all pick-me's, aren't they? YouTubers are pick-me's. So anyway, this lady just keeps popping up. Let me give you a brief introduction on statuses and objectives, Miley. She's a bit of a smoker. She's an ex-smoker. She smoked for 20 odd years, so she's got a smoker's voice in my head. So we can see we are head of the Jiangling. Is that a province or a town? I think that's a town, right? But we're the viceroy anyway. But let's let her explain. You're a viceroy, my liege. You command an entire division, including multiple cities. We will look at the map in a minute. In short, within your division, you may engage in anything aside from diplomatic matters. So that would be handled by our ruler, who in this case, of course, is Liu. Yeah, there you go. I drifted off there. Use your cities well to accomplish the objectives of your division. So yes, ROT 3K 8 as 8R maybe, as we could refer to it. I have not decided yet. Is officer play. If you know anything about the series, there are 2 modes of gameplay, and each episode of the series falls into one of 2 styles of gameplay, either ruler play or officer play. This game is officer play. So we control whichever officer we control. In this case, Guan Yu. So yeah, we're going to follow Xiaoling's advice on the bottom right hand side of the screen. Espionage. Let's go. I won't do a full reading. You can like stop the tape and read it for yourself. I'll try not to go through too fast, but we need to make some plots work, and espionage is effective for 12 months. Blah de blah de blah 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 blah. So before we do that, I say we look at the map. This is what it looks like. So we are in full on 3 kingdoms. Full on 3 kingdoms. There's Cao Cao, who is the rightful ruler, and there's us, who we're not in charge of. That's our boss, Liu Bei. He's the boss. And there's also, where is he? Sun Quan. There's also some unaligned people. There's some cities down here which we could unite, and this guy who is like the Jiao province. These guys are more kind of, if you know anything about like the novel, these are like Nanman forces. So they're all like your jungle forces, and they all wear like grass skirts and ride tigers and stuff. Because, of course, this is a historical novel where everybody rides friggin' tigers. Of course. That's what tipped me off to it being... No, okay, I'll stop. I'll stop making fun of, like, my fellow YouTube video creators. So that's what the map looks like. We're quite close. We're in a kind of... strategically important position, whereas we're right next door to Cao Cao there and to Huang Gai right there as well. It looks like we've got no path to get to this region, which might be an ideal place for us to expand into. It looks very much like the path is there for Cao Ren, who is Cao Cao's cousin, I think. But anytime you see the name Cao, they're a member of his family, really. So I think we forget about that. I think overall we probably, we're probably on defense. That's probably our duty. but this guy should probably expand this into this region, into the Nanman. I think that was part of the novel, was it? Or it's part of the Dynasty Warriors games anyway, where they expand into the Nanman campaign. It's probably just a sentence in the novel. So anyway, let's click on espionage. What do we want to do? The espionage command allows you to gather information on cities controlled by forces other than your own. You'll be able to see a city's information, blah, 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 blah. It's important to note that espionage and most other commands used in Parliament require 1 strategy point, so an SP. That's something we need to keep in the back of our head. Furthermore, any officer can only perform a single action when using Parliament commands. That means that if you send someone out for espionage, they cannot employ other officers, sorry, I can read, be transferred or march. Another thing to consider is that espionage will never fail. If you're trying to gain merit or have strategy points to spare, give it a try. So, what are we going to check out? I say even this is kind of bad. We could think about allying with these guys. I think again, that's what happens in the novel, right? That's like Zhuge Liang's like big strategic win. He's like, why not ally with these guys and go in that direction? It's like, nice one. I can see why he's a historically significant strategist. I say we get information on this one here. This place here, Xiangyang. It's going to cost us 200 bones. Do it. Why not? Zhao Kang, I want you to gather some information about Xiangyang. Leave it to me. I want your hat though. Give me your hat. I've finished investigating Xiangyang, he says. There you go. It's ruled by this guy. This guy is a tactician. They're kind of underdeveloped in farmland. Their defenses are quite low and their public order is pretty low, or relatively low, I should say. So yeah, we need to do other things. Now that the information about the city has been revealed, this is a great way to use your strategy points in the Parliament. Great. Do we want to continue? I guess we do. Oh yeah, okay, so strat points. Continue, sure, just because she's telling us to. Next, we shall decide who will oversee this season's missions. There aren't any diplomatic objectives right now. Does anyone have any suggestions? Work on repair. Commerce, yes, that is my idea as well, to focus on commerce. And I'll show you why I think commerce would be a good idea as well. Here you can order officers within a city to carry out missions over a period of 3 months, so every action is quarterly, in order to help that city flourish. Missions fall into 5 categories: cultivate land, commerce, science, repairs, which is like the city wall. China is pretty interesting in the fact that cities are very important. Repairs and public order. Public order is also very important. I think we are going to concentrate on public order at first. In fact, ours starts low as well. Alright, anyway, before all else, public order is crucial to help you gather soldiers. After that, focus on cultivation of land to increase the maximum amount of soldiers available and keep supply levels high. Yes, good. But also commerce, because it's low. That's basically why that's a good idea. But everything would be a good idea, really. But commerce is also good because I think our gold balance is bad. Basically, it's best to focus on missions, she says, to supplement what the city lacks. Oh, and know that a mission's efficiency is greatly influenced by an officer's motivation, which depends on factors such as loyalty to the force or their level of trust with the governor. You can see why interactions play a very important role. Great, man. Yeah, I think the reason why we need people in these political positions, the reason why commerce is good is because these two are in there. So we need to work on gaining more and more ossifers, basically, and to put people in positions where they cultivate the land and cultivate the science. And there's still, I mean, we need more ossifers, basically. We need more ossifers. The following missions will be assigned this season. Blah, blah, blah. The mission assignment for the season. So, Wang Fu is on commerce. Ma Liang's, yeah, I mean, it basically just shows us what was on that screen, but more in text. So, some guys repairing. Four guys, including two of our children. These are our two sons. I guess he's also a son. A bit. I mean, Guan Yu had boatloads of children. He also had female children, apparently, which are sometimes mentioned in like Dynasty Warriors games, perhaps I should pronounce stuff properly. And other times they're not, because historically women had no power, I'm sorry to say, and that is true. I mean, it was so long ago, come on. That's it, you've ordered a mission to be carried out. Now your subordinates will get to work and the city will flourish. Great.
I'll be right here.